What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Talkin Sports with Jake. Hope we're all doing well. So let's talk about some baseball. The playoffs, the wildcard round is currently going on. The Detroit Tigers defeat the Houston Astros last night, and they take 2 out of 3 from the Astros, sweeping them, winning the first 2, and of course, best out of 3 in the wildcard round. And the Astros, for the first time since 2016, have been knocked out of the playoff before the ALCS. They have been to the ALCS, I think, 7 years in a row, and they finally do not get there this year. Losing the first round. Game 1, obviously, scoop ball, pitches a gem, shuts the Astros down. Tigers pick up the win. And then Game 2, they got decent pitching, and then a big hit off the bench in the 8th inning from Andy Ibanez, a 3-run triple in the 8th inning off Josh Hader, actually. Gives the Tigers a 5-2 win. They move on to the American League Division Series. So it's a big win for them. I think they're going to play Cleveland. But big win for them. This might be the end of the road for the Astros. They've had an incredible run over the last 8 years. A lot less 8 seasons. They've been to they were in the ALCS 7 times. Were in the World Series 4 times. Won twice. First one definitely has an asterisk next because they cheated with the sign stealing scandal. Obviously, not a very likable group, but they are very resilient. We're a great team. Also, you had a true ring a couple years ago, beating the Philadelphia Phillies in the 2022 World Series. And, they're not as deep as they once were. Their rotation isn't as dominant. Pitching isn't as good as it once was. They're just not as good of a baseball team as they once were. Obviously, Dusty Baker retired after last year, and now Joe Spada's the manager. So, and it looks like they're going to lose Alex Bregman. He tweeted out, "Thank you, Houston." They asked him after the game. He said that he's not really sure. He would like to come back, but he's going to let Scott Boras, of course, his agent, handle everything that comes along with that. And so, sounds like he won't be back. If I had to guess, I don't think he will. He's getting older. Still a very good player, but he's getting older. Houston now you get swept. Houston got swept in the first round. They're not the same team. He's already won two rings. It's hard for me to imagine that he will be back. Maybe. I know Jose Altuve said Houston should convince him to stay, but I think unless they massively overpay for him, I don't think he'll be back. But Detroit moves on. They beat Houston 5-2 in Game 2, win that series 2-0. And the Royals do the same thing with the Orioles. So 2 wildcard teams moving. So both of the last 2 spots in the American League move on. Royals beat the Orioles 2-1 last night to advance to the American League Division Series. Put the New York Yankees in the ALDS. It was 1-1 for a little while. Then Cionel Perez came in, thinking like the 6th or 7th inning, and then he gives up a run. The Royals hang on to win 2-1. Baltimore has now lost 10 straight playoff games. They have not won a playoff game since 2014. Last year, the Royals won the American League, got a bye into the ALDS, and then got swept, I think, by Texas in the DS. And this year, they were nicked out by the Yankees in the American League East. They ended up with the first wildcard in the American League, and then got swept by the Kansas City Royals. This is a really bad performance by the Baltimore Orioles. This team prides himself on that loaded lineup. All of the young stars of Gunnar Henderson and Adley Rutschman and Ryan Mountcastle, Anthony Santander at a 40-homer year. 1 run in 2 games. Gunnar Henderson didn't even have a hit in the series. 1 run in 2 games for the Orioles. That's just not good enough. I mean, they really didn't play well in the entire second half. They're a below-average team in the second half of the season. They kind of limped into the playoffs. And they're neck and neck with the Yankees for most of the postseason. I mean, for the regular season in that division. We're ahead for most of it, and then just kind of collapsed towards the end. But we're obviously still able to get into the playoffs. But Royals, they were a team that for a while was playing really well. Certified themselves as a legit playoff team. And but kind of limped down the stretch. Kind of struggled leading into the playoffs. But we're able to get in, and they're a really solid team. They have a really solid lineup. They have a solid rotation. Seth Lugo and Cole Reagan's at the top of that rotation. And by the way, that guy Will Smith, this is his 4th team in 4 years. Each of the last 3 years, he won the World Series. In 2021, he was in Atlanta. think he might have been their closer. These are their closer, Bracetta man. 2022, he was in Houston. Last year he was in Texas. Now he's in Kansas City. I don't know. If he wins 4 World Series in a row with 4 different teams, that is just incredible. You might at that point put the guy in the Hall of Fame. I know obviously he's a good, not great reliever. You're not putting him in the Hall of Fame. That's obviously a joke. But at that point, it's like it's some sort of voodoo crap when it comes to Will Smith. That's crazy. Royals pick up a big win, beat the Orioles 2-1, sweep them. They advance to the American League Division Series. The Division Series starts on Saturday. It will be the Cleveland Guardians hosting the Detroit Tigers and the New York Yankees hosting the Kansas City Royals. On the National League side, Brewers beat the Mets 5-3 to force a winner go home Game 3 tonight. Mets were up 3-1 going to the bottom of the 8th inning. Mets with the Phil Maton, or actually it was 3-2 going to the 8th inning. And he gives up a leadoff home run to Churio, and then later in the inning a 2-run home run to Garrett Mitchell off the bench. He pinch ran earlier in the game and he stayed in the game. And Brewers will big come behind win 5-3. I did not like the way that Carlos Mendoza managed that game. He's been phenomenal all year. I think he should be the manager of the year of the National League. He did a great job managing Game 1, but I would have probably given him a show him an eye in that inning. He went 5 innings, pitched well, only give up 1, maybe 2 runs. And he only had 86 pitches. You know, the day before in Game 1, he pushed the envelope with Luis Severino. Severino, I think, threw 111 pitches in 6 innings. Gave up 4 runs. And he pushed the envelope. Truman and I gave up 1, maybe 2 runs in 5 innings. He gave up 2 runs in 5 innings, it was. I would have pushed him another inning. You know, obviously, he was a little short-handed. He did not have Evan Diaz. Remember, Diaz, in the previous 2 games in the regular season, he got 11 outs, and he threw well over 20 pitches in both of them. I don't think you had him for the first 2 games. Definitely didn't have him last night. Maybe you want, if so, maybe for an inning, so obviously you're going to save him for the 9th. But yeah, he went to Garrett for an inning, Stanek for an inning, then went to Maton for the 8th. Even when Maton got into some trouble, he started warming up Adam Ottavino, who obviously has not been very good this year. So I don't understand bullpen management. I would have probably given him Shomanai another inning. He's been probably your best starter this year, at least in the second half of the season. I would have given him another inning, and then you could have gone Garrett, Stanek, and then closed with Maton. And if you get into trouble, maybe you go with Diaz for an hour or 2, or maybe you try and squeeze an out of Adam Ottavino, or maybe if you want a lefty out, maybe you try and squeeze an out of Danny Young. So that is not the direction I would have gone. Or honestly, Ryan Stanek looked really sharp, only threw like 12 or 13 pitches. I would have probably got another inning with him. And then you could have brought in Phil Maton to close if you really wanted to save Diaz. That'd be huge, because now he would have had the day off today and tomorrow, and then would have been completely fresh for Saturday for the division series against the Philadelphia Phillies. So that would have been what I would have done. It's unfortunate, but Game 3 tonight, I'm going to roll out Jose Quintana. I wonder if you see, could we see David Peterson? Obviously, in the perfect world, you have him start Game 1 of the division series against Philadelphia. And now you set up your rotation perfectly. But this, there is no tomorrow. So I think if they have to go to David Peterson, they will, because he's had a great season. He actually had the lowest year of any of their starters overall in the regular season. And the Padres beat the Braves 5-4, and they sweep the Braves. The Braves do not win a playoff game for the first time since, I think, 2018. They get swept by the Padres. Padres move on to face the Los Angeles Dodgers in the National League Division Series. Fried got absolutely rocked. 5 runs added over just 2 innings. He got pushed around. Musgrove pitched pretty well. Got pulled in the 4th inning, but he had just 1 run on 1 hit. Then the Padres were able to hang on. Jason Adam gave up 2 runs in the 8th. Braves made a 1-1 game, but then Rangers, Robert Suarez, I'm going to say Rangers Suarez, he's on the Phillies. Robert Suarez came in for the save yet again. And Padres hang on, win 5-4. I don't know, guys. Dodgers every year, they have a stacked roster. They win 100-plus games, win the National League West, and then NLCS rolls around, and then they kind of choke up. Obviously you have Ohtani, which is obviously a big difference. But, Padres are playing really well. They're a very good team. But they're also a pretty star-studded squad. I could see San Diego winning that series. They have playoff experience on their side. I could see the Padres upsetting the Los Angeles Dodgers and moving on to the pennant. We'll see what happens. And for the Braves, honestly, if it wasn't for Carlos Mendoza, Brian Snitker might be manager of the year. That guy, he might be the best manager in all of baseball. He's done a phenomenal job. Obviously, he won a World Series a couple of years ago. And, they had a lot of injuries this year. Your starter base, Nelson Robbie's has been out for a while. You missed a bunch of guys. Ozzie Albies was out, missed a lot of time this year. Only came back about 2 weeks ago. So a lot of guys missed time. Your ace, Spencer Strider, missed most of the season with an elbow problem. So you had a lot of guys. Obviously, Chris Sale, who's probably going to win the Cy Young, had a resurgent year with the Braves. Got him in a trade with the Red Sox in the prior to the season starting. And he gets hurt on the last day of the season. You didn't have him for the series, so a lot of injuries, and then they fought their way in. Obviously, I cannot stand the Braves. Their fans are annoying. Don't like them, but they are a great team, a great organization. And they fought their way to the playoffs. Overall, I think it was a solid year for them. So what happens in the offseason with them? Max Fried, one of their starting pitchers, is a free agent. He's when healthy, one of the best left-handed stars in all of baseball. I'm sure he will have a lot of suitors. We'll see if the Braves re-sign him or if he goes elsewhere. But Padres move on. The division series starts Saturday. It will be, like I said, Tigers at the Guardians, Royals at the Yankees. It will be the Padres at the Dodgers, and the Dodgers, and not the Dodgers. The Phillies will play the winner of Mets Brewers, which is tonight. That starts at 7:08 Eastern Time. Why is MLB have these weird times where it'll start time like 7:08, 7:38, 5:38? Just start the game at 7:10 like you do every other game. Come on, or 7 or 7:10. Come on. What are we doing here? But my Mets, like I said, have Jose Quintana now. I thought they would go to Peterson. I guess they're going to Quintana. Peterson's had a little bit of a better year, but Quintana was a decent year. Maybe because Peterson's never started in the playoffs like Quintana has before. Right in Milwaukee, they're going with Myers as their Tobias Myers right now is their projected starter. Had a good year for them. 25 starts at a ERA of 3.96. Obviously, he's a rookie, a rookie starting when we're take all game. That's always dangerous. You put a rookie in the big spot for the first time ever, in their career in the playoffs. Again, Aaron Savali, who I thought was going to go for the Brewers, if I could see him coming into this game. I'll think the perfect world, you start him game one against the Phillies if you win this game. Sets up the rest of the rotation very nicely. You can go back to Freddie Peralta in game two, which would either even up the series or put you up 2-0 and I would push the Phillies to the brink of elimination by game three. But there's no tomorrow. If the Brewers get into trouble, I could definitely see Savali. Didn't have a great year, but he's a veteran who's pitched in the playoffs before. He was in the Brewers rotation from, ever since they acquired him at the trade deadline. I'm sure he will come into the game if the Brewers run into trouble. And the Giants are gonna move on from their GM Pete Putila. Obviously, they're shaking up their entire front office. You let go of President Farhan and obviously Giants legend Buster Posey was named the new president of baseball operations. So they let go of Pete Putila. We'll see if they bring in a new GM to serve under Posey. I could see a lot of changes coming in San Francisco. The Cubs made some changes to the coaching staff. Craig Kemp's not going anywhere. They just gave him a huge contract. Can't really fire the guy. But they got rid of the first base coach, Mike Napoli, Jim Adducci, who was the hitting coach, as well as the bullpen coach, Darren Holmes. Which kind of makes sense because they definitely struggled offensively this year. The bullpen wasn't great either. So, and the Marlins fired their whole staff. They already dismissed manager Skip Schumacher, and the entire staff will not be coming back. So, changes happening in Miami as well. Right, and before we get to game picks for college football and NFL, Davante Adams, star receiver from Las Vegas Raiders, has requested a trade out of Las Vegas. He's obviously been happy for a couple of years, pretty much since he got there. Obviously, he went there to play with Carr. They were Carr when he was with the Raiders because they're very close friends. They played together in college, first saying we're very, very good together. And, the first year was a rough, frustrating year with the Josh McDaniels experience and everything that went on. He clearly looked frustrated throughout the year. Then after the year, they moved on from Derek Carr. They're bringing Jimmy Garoppolo, who really made the frustration to a whole another level, to the point where he said, you have to bench Jimmy Garoppolo for Aiden O'Connell, or I'm requesting a trade. He does. He was still unhappy because of the Josh McDaniels experience as a head coach, and they fire him. They promote Pierce. Thankfully they keep Pierce as head coach. If I didn't, I think he would definitely request a trade. And just you could tell he's looked frustrated throughout the season. Just he's just tired of this one thing after another with this team, and he finally requested a trade. Here's my thing. I understand Adam's frustration. He was in Green Bay for all those years. Green Bay was always a top team, always Super Bowl contender. He was always playing deep into the playoffs. I get it. You came here to Packers didn't really have the money to pay you. Now you go to a spot. You get to play with one of your best friends. And you get to a spot and you look like on paper they have a shot to have a pretty good team. You get your $30 million a year contract. You get your big contract. Yeah, everything you want out of it. And it has not gone according to plan. Obviously, you have not been very competitive. Obviously, Derek Carr is no longer there. Last year, having to deal with Jimmy Garoppolo and Aiden O'Connell as their quarterbacks. The Josh McDaniels thing, just disastrous tenure with him as the head coach of the Raiders. I get the frustration. Well, Davante, you chose to go there. You could have stayed in Green Bay. Yes, paying him might have been an issue for the Packers. You were paying Aaron Rodgers so much money. But you could have stayed in Green Bay. You could have. I get the uncertainty of how much longer Aaron Rodgers was going to stay with the Green Bay Packers. He only stayed one more year, and then obviously he manifests a trade to the New York Jets. But who knows? Maybe if Davante stayed, Aaron Rodgers was going to be like, you know what? I might not, love, the front office here. We don't really see eye to eye. But if Davante's still here, I think that gives me the best chance to win another Super Bowl. Maybe he would have stayed. Maybe he'd still be a Packer. Who knows? He's shown the ability when he has, a good enough roster. He's still a decent quarterback, even at 40 years old. I'm sure he wouldn't have torn his Achilles last year on the Packers. If they put him there, the Packers line wasn't phenomenal last year either, but it was better than what the Jets had last year. You never know. And even with Jordan Love, I think he would have been in much better shape. Jordan Love, for the most part, been a pretty good quarterback for the Packers. I was staying in Green Bay. He chose to go to the Raiders. Now he wants out. Obviously, he wants to play with the Jets. That's something that he does. He wants to an extent. He says he's not demanding he goes to the Jets. He would love to play there, but it's not Jets or bust. Obviously, the Aaron Rodgers thing. I'm not gonna lie, if I'm the Jets, I might, if I could, wait till next year. In a perfect world, this team is just so poorly coached. I don't see how they're gonna make the playoffs this year. Next year, you get legit coaching staff in there. You think, all right, this is the last chance we have with Aaron Rodgers. You already have some decent receivers there. You have a really good running game. In the line, considering how much, if Rodgers gets Davante, he won't need that much time to throw. The line should give him just enough time. A really good defense. That's a borderline Super Bowl contender. You have Davante with Garrett Wilson, Lazard, a guy who Rodgers trusts. Brees and Brain Allen running the football. A top 10 defense. That's a really good team. That being said, if Adams gets traded somewhere, and then he likes it there, and he says, yeah, I'm going to stay here for as long as I can, that won't be an option. And to me, if they get Davante, that gives them the best chance to finally make the playoffs. But there's still a chance they screw it up like they always do. So, is it really worth it? I don't know. I mean, they don't have a ton of picks. So, because of the Aaron Rodgers trade, so that would kind of kill the franchise. You'd basically have to either run back Rodgers next year with the same group, although with a different coaching staff, that maybe can get better results. But as long term, it's not a good idea. That being said, at this point, just don't have much more to lose. They're such a bad organization. If it's going to go wrong anyway, maybe you try it, but I don't know. Apparently, he wants to go somewhere where he's familiar with his quarterbacks. Maybe he goes to New Orleans to reunite with Derek Carr. And they could probably use another receiver. I know he's interested in a couple other spots I've heard. Heard the Steelers are in on him. That would be a good spot for him. I've heard the idea of the Commanders being floated around. I like that a lot. They could really use another receiver. The Commanders could certify themselves as a legit playoff contender if they make that move. You know, maybe the Bills. I know it's a spot that Adams would like to be. He would be the best receiver Josh Allen's ever had. Him with Josh Allen would be scary. If you're a Chief, please don't trade him to the Chief. It's not what we need. You know, they lose Rasheed Rice and Hollywood Brown. And now they go out and get Davante. Plus, I still have Xavier Worthy, obviously, and Travis Kelce. You know, you're going to get Isaiah Pacheco back at some point this season. I don't need Davante Adams to be a Patrick Mahomes. We really don't need that by any means. I heard the 49ers. That would just be like, really? Come on. You already have Debo, Ayuk, George Kittle, Jordan Mason. You might get McCaffrey back at some point this year. Ricky Pearsall was a first-round pick this year. You're going to be getting him back soon. You don't need another all-pro receiver, okay? And if they do that, if they do not win the Super Bowl, at that point you have to just completely start over. I don't know what else you would do at that point. But Davante Adams requested a trade. Apparently he's not going to play this week. He said he's a hamstring injury. I do not believe that for a second. His hamstring looked completely fine the first 4 games of the season. Never had a problem in the offseason. Nothing came out of Raiders practice that he was hurt. That is not an injury. If he gets traded, his hamstring will just be magically healed. I'm telling you right now, he does not have a hamstring injury. Just don't want him to get hurt, because and then hurt his trade value. His hamstring is just fine. It's more than fine. It's 100%. Telling you that right now. All right, well, let's do game picks. Starting with college football. Tomorrow, maybe at the 2 Friday games. College football. Something about Friday night college football that kind of hits. I don't know what it is. It's Michigan State against number 6 Oregon. I'm going to take Oregon. Michigan State is not very good. Oh, Oregon's a much better team. They should overpower them. Dylan Gabriel's played very well for them so far. Syracuse number 25 UNLV. So UNLV is off to a good start this year. Syracuse has been respectable. I'm going to take UNLV. They're playing very well right now. And I'm going to roll with them. Give me UNLV. Then into the Saturday games, you have UCLA against number 7 Penn State. Give me Penn State. UCLA looks very bad this year. Number 9 Missouri is number 25 Texas A&M. Might be the best game of the week in college football. I'm going to take Missouri. A&M is briefly favored in this game. They've played well. Missouri's playing pretty good football right now. Not super sold on them as a legit championship contender right now, but they've been in the top 10 pretty much the whole season. Give me Missouri in that game. SMU against number 22 Louisville. Give me Louisville. They're off to a good start. They had a solid year last year. I think they continue to win. SMU's look pretty good. Give me Louisville. Iowa against number 3 Ohio State. Give me Ohio State. Maybe Iowa makes it a game. No, the line is -20. Maybe Iowa makes it a game. It's because they're a team that loves those 17, 14, 21, 17 games. But you got to be able to score points to compete with Ohio State. And they just can't do that. So give me Ohio State. I'll say Iowa keeps it a game. Maybe for a half into the third quarter. I think Ohio State pulls away at the end. But give me Auburn against number 5 Georgia. Give me Georgia. Auburn's terrible. Georgia should beat them out of the water. Then maybe Auburn keeps it close for a quarter. That's about as far as I go. Georgia does come out slow sometimes. Number 12 Ole Miss against South Carolina. Give me Ole Miss. They've played well so far. Obviously, tough loss to Kentucky last week. But give me Ole Miss in that game. 23 Indiana against Northwestern. Give me the Hoosiers. They're off to a good start. Number 1 Alabama against Vanderbilt. That's going to go as badly as you expect it to. Alabama should win, no problem. Number 15 Clemson against Florida State. It is unfathomable how bad Florida State is. Give me the Clemson Tigers, who I don't think are all that great either. Give me Clemson in that game. Utah State against number 21 Boise State. Give me Boise State. They've played very well so far. Ashton Jeanty might be the Heisman. It's going to be either him or Travis Hunter probably this year. Ashton, he is a stud at running back. I think he'll run right through Utah State. Give me Boise State. Number 4 Tennessee against Arkansas. Give me Tennessee. They're just going to overpower Arkansas in that game. Number 10 Michigan against Washington. Give me the Wolverines. Washington just is the same team, obviously. Lost pretty much everything from last year. Give me the Wolverines. Number 11 USC against Minnesota. Give me the Trojans in that one. They should win that game, no problem. Baylor against number 16 Iowa State. Give me the Cyclones. Iowa State should take care of business in that game. Then you got number 8 Miami against Cal. Give me Miami. Cal couldn't even beat Florida State. They're not a great team. You know, this is the biggest test they've had so far, by far, for California. They're not even ranked. Cam Ward has been playing his ass off so far. Give me Cam Ward and the Hurricanes. All right, on to some NFL action. Thursday Night Football tonight. Buccaneers, Falcons. Give me the... I'm going to take the Bucs in this one. Falcons have looked okay, but still not getting cop picks involved. Tampa's looked very good. It's clearly a two-team race in the NFC South, but I picked Atlanta at the beginning of the year, but Tampa just looks like the better team so far. This should be a pretty high-scoring game. I'll take Tampa to outslug the Falcons in that game. At 9:30 in the morning, we have a London game. Jets-Vikings. Give me the Vikings. I don't have any confidence in the Jets. They're a mess. This is going to be a Sam Darnold revenge game. He beat them in Carolina a couple of years ago. I think he does it again in Minnesota. Give me the Vikings. I have no confidence in the New York Jets. Panthers at the Bears. I'm going to take the Bears. Panthers have looked much better the last 2 weeks. You know, picked a win over the Raiders in the last week. Kept it close with the Bengals. The Bears, I don't think are all that great. You know, their offense is really struggling. But, you know, that defense is phenomenal. I don't think Carolina will be able to get much going offensively. Give me the Bears. Ravens at the Bengals. I'm going to take the Ravens. It's weird seeing the Bengals start out 1-4. That's a really flawed team. I think the Ravens are going to run into the Bengals throw. I don't think they'll be able to stop them. Give me the Ravens. Bills at Texans. That should be a really good game. Give me the Houston Texans. You know, Bills looked rough last week. This is a big game. Stephon Diggs against the Bills for the first time. We'll see how that goes. But give me the Houston Texans. I do think Diggs will pick up the win. Texans are a great team. Give me Houston. Indianapolis Colts at the Jacksonville Jaguars. It might be the middle of the week. Give me the Colts. Jaguars, I think, remain winless. That Jacksonville team is just terrible. They cannot stop anybody. Looks like Anthony Richardson is going to play. He struggled to this point. But the Jacksonville defense is really bad. It should be probably a messy game, but give me the Colts in that one. Dolphins at the Patriots. That might be a toilet bowl of the week, as people like to call it. I'm going to take the Patriots, actually. That Dolphins team just looks dreadful now. They are completely shell-shocked from the Tua thing. You know, Tyler Huntley is not very good. Give me the Patriots to sneak by. Chris Gonzalez is such an incredible corner. He's on like a parental Revis run that he's on right now. It's, you know, how many these top receivers that he's locking up. Give me the Patriots in that one. Browns at the Commanders. Give me the Commanders. I could see Cleveland pulling off the upset. Maybe Myles Garrett gets a lot of pressure on Jan Daniels, forces them to make a couple mistakes. You know, the Commanders, once the pressure gets too much, they can tend to collapse. But the Browns are a mess. Deshaun Watson sucks. That Lions got a lot of issues, a lot of injury. I think Commanders will get a lot of pressure on them. I think Cleveland looks flat again. Give them the Commanders. Raiders at the Broncos. I'm going to take the Raiders. Denver looked good against Tampa. I mean, they beat the Jets last week. The Jets just outsuck them, I guess. Give me the Raiders. And another, they're dealing with a bunch of stuff with the Davante thing, but Broncos are very bad. Give me the Raiders. Cardinals at the 49ers. Give me the 49ers. Yeah, Arizona looks a little bit better, but Kyle Ryan hasn't played that well, even though I think the team on paper is a little bit better. 49ers, they're as healthy as probably they'll be. You know, I mean, guys probably out right now is McCaffrey and Javon Hargrave defensively. Beyond the Drakeland was going to miss time, so give me the 49ers in that game. Packers at the Rams. I'm going to take the Packers. Yeah, obviously started off really bad last week, but looked obviously a lot better in the second half. Rams have a lot of injuries right now. That defense is really bad. They could be in for a long year. That team's really starting to show their age, so give me the Green Bay Packers now. And Jordan Love played very well in his return last week. Didn't look rusty at all. Giants at the Seahawks. Give me Seattle. That Seahawks defense is not good, but the Giants' offense, without their, I don't think they're going to have Malik Neighbors. News came out today with the concussion, probably is going to play. And without Malik Neighbors, that Giants' offense is going to be one of the worst offenses we've ever seen. So, I don't care what defense they're playing, it's going to be hard for the Giants to get anything going. Geno Smith says look good, Seahawks look good overall. Give him the Seahawks. Sunday Night Football, Cowboys at the Steelers. I'm going to go with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't trust the Dallas Cowboys. They're not good defensively. You know, Fields has played well enough so far to where he's clearly the starting quarterback of that team. And I don't trust the Cowboys with my life. Give me the Steelers. And Monday Night Football, Saints at the Chiefs. Give me the Chiefs. Chiefs don't have Rashee Rice in the game. Obviously, the knee injury. But they still have Mahomes, Kelsey. And also have Pacheco, so a lot of injuries on that offense for the Kansas City Chiefs. But the Saints, they are so fraudulent. Their car is not that good. And the Chiefs are going to put up a lot of points. We could see a high-scoring game. Give them the Chiefs in that game. All right. That's all I got for you guys today. Until next time, so long. Have a great day.